For the men's mile, the world record held by Steve Cram of Great Britain at 3:46.32. The American mark owned by the dominant American miler of the decade, Steve Scott, at 3:47.69. And in fact, Scott is the man at the head of the field, alongside Roosevelt Jackson from the Reebok Club, Jeff Atkinson, a member of our U.S. Olympic team at 1,500 meters, Doug Padilla, the '85 World Cup 5,000 meter champion, Terry Herrington, a Clemson grad who's been posting some great times this year, John Quade of the Stars and Stripes Club, Maurice Smith, Christian Cushing-Murray, and Tony Young filling out the field.
There you see Steve Scott. What a great record he's amassed. 33 years of age, 8 times under 3 minutes 50 seconds for the mile. No other miler in history has done that. 11 times ranked among the top 10. The guy's amazing. Only 3 milers in history have ever run faster, and yet he's having a bit of a difficult year, he told me.
Scott getting away with Roosevelt Jackson right there. Looks like Doug Padilla and Terry Herrington also going to challenge early.
This is the rabbit. This is Christian Cushing-Murray from UCLA, who's run close to a 4-minute mile, but he's been asked to go out and push the pace, hopefully run around 1 minute 55 seconds. Let's see how good a rabbit he is. The rest of the field is staying with him. Good sign. Scott wanted a fast pace. Padilla close on his heels, Bob.
And Padilla, remember, is the better runner at the long distance of 5,000 meters. I doubt that he can sprint with a guy like Steve Scott, but as you pointed out, Larry, Scott not on best form recently.
Padilla has an excellent kick. He and Sidney Marie have been the mainstays around the 5,000, 3,000 meter distance for America, going on almost 10 years. This is a good, honest pace. My guess is we're right around 57 seconds flat, within a half second of that. Let's see what they turn in.
And quickly, 58 seconds unofficially at the first 400 meters.
They announced over there 56.8 for 440 yards. Let's see what happens. There's Scott in second, and Padilla looking like he wants a serious race. Roosevelt Jackson from the Reebok Track Club is in fourth.
And now the rabbit, Christian Cushing-Murray, opening up about a 10-meter lead. Padilla sticking with Steve Scott.
2.5 laps to go.
Scott told me if I don't feel good, I'm going to back off the pace. It looks to me like he's backing off pretty early here. We're not even at the 880-yard mark in the Jack-in-the-Box mile.
Fourth performer all-time world in the mile is Steve Scott. His seasonal best thus far this year was a 3:53.83 just 2 weeks ago in the New York Games. Meanwhile, Padilla moves up right behind him, and right behind Padilla is, I believe, Terry Herrington.
Herrington is actually just a little bit further back. 1 minute 56 and 0.6 of a second unofficially for the leader. Here goes Scott. Now he's pushing the pace. He's got it. Let's see what Padilla chooses to do. My guess is he'll let Scott do almost all the work.
And if you're right that Scott is not feeling good at this point, that's not a good thing for him to have to do this point, is break the win for everybody else behind him. The number 6 is John Quade with a best of 3:55.63. So make your leader Scott, followed by Padilla and Quade.
Atkinson, Jeff Atkinson, who has a good kick, a former Stanford grad who surprised everybody making our team, sitting in 4th place, and that's Roosevelt Jackson running for Reebok, and he is back in 5th. Scott still leading.
In fact, Atkinson was the winner of the U.S. Olympic Trials 1500 back in 1988, and now Quade starts to move up, passing Padilla, and he'll challenge Scott for the lead. This will be the bell lap. 1 to go. Quade is your leader.
2 minutes, 57 and 0.5 of a second past the 3/4 mile mark. Quade ran 3:55 recently. He's running well, and he's pressing the pace.
And now the window opens for the kickers. We'll see who has the stuff as they go up the backstretch one more time. And quickly a pack of 4 breaks away. Quade, Scott, Padilla, who you see coming along Scott's shoulder now. And behind them, Atkinson. But Quade is not going to give up. A man with a personal record 2 weeks ago in New York, hoping to steal the race here at the Jack-in-the-Box Invitational. Off the turn, it is Quade and Padilla. Nobody else is there. Atkinson and Scott cannot respond. Here comes Doug Padilla. He moves into the lead, and now it's Quade's turn to respond. He will not, and Doug Padilla will be your winner in the Jack-in-the-Box mile, unofficially 3:54 and change. Could that be?
3:54.2.
That could be, and that's
3:54.2.
That's the fastest that he's ever run for a mile. He's a 3:56 into a miler. Good performance. The man has good speed, and he can accelerate with the best of the distance runners in the world. Notice Quade, who I mentioned had run well in the last couple of weeks, had something left, a 3:55 miler, but he's up against a guy who can lift and accelerate off an indoor small track and take the lead. You know that he can kick well, particularly over the last 100 meters. 32 years of age right now. The young man who went to BYU and runs for Athletics West is having a very good year. Not his best, but he's running well, and 3:54 bodes well for him for the second half of the European track season.
In fact, he's going for his master's degree in electrical engineering. And Doug Padilla, with a spectacular final 440 yards, improves his PR in the mile. We'll be back to sum things up from Los Angeles in a moment.
He was the winner of the pole vault here at 18.8 1/4. His clearance there, very nice. He took some unsuccessful attempts at a new personal record, 19 feet 1/4 inch. But he wins the competition, 18.8 1/4. Doug Fraley second, 18.4 1/2, and Steve Horvath in third. Now I'm joined by mile winner Doug Padilla. Now explain this to me. As you get older, you're supposed to move up in distance, and you hope their speed will carry you through. You're 32 years old. You've run the 5,000 for most of your career. Now you just run a PR in the mile. Explain that to me.
Well, Mike Boyd did it. Why can't I do it? I don't know. I've never really liked the mile because it's been so much pushing and shoving, and coaches always said I could run a good mile, but I preferred the longer race where it was a little less physical, shall we say. And as such, maybe I should be running the mile more.
The way you ran it today, it certainly does appear that way. Doug Padilla, the mile winner in the Jack in the Box Invitational. We'll be back to wrap this up in a couple of minutes after these short messages.